animals make us feel good. When we're feeling alone and need a friend, a pet can fill the role. We stroke them and scratch them, and it's as good for us as it is for them. Pets never judge us. They always listen, and they give us plenty to talk about.
Yes, she gets a lot of hair. She's a shedding kind.
When they look at us with their soft, trusting, and loving eyes, we feel at ease. At long-term and daycare centers, animal-assisted therapy, also commonly called pet therapy, is improving the residents' and patients' quality of life. Volunteers from a variety of healthcare and animal organizations are using dogs, cats, rabbits, and other small animals to visit and entertain. The animals and their volunteer handlers have gotten reactions which healthcare professionals have welcomed, encouraged, and appreciated.
Can't imagine how they benefit by this. So in appreciation, Joe, I'd like to give you this certificate.
Clinically speaking, the animal visits provide residents and patients with memory and sensory stimuli. The animals facilitate social interaction and offer opportunity for nonverbal communications. A sense of order, increased self-esteem, and the fulfillment of a need to nurture can be achieved with structured animal-assisted therapy in both group and individual settings. And as we all know from our own experience, animals give us companionship and comfort when we're feeling lonely. As a result, healthcare professionals have incorporated animal-assisted therapy in setting goals for each resident and patient. With regular supervision and coordination by the healthcare professionals, volunteers and their animals are working as an integral part of the therapy team. As prized members of the team, the animals must be selected with care. Their health must be of special concern, and immunizations, especially rabies, kept up to date. Equally important is a healthy volunteer. It is a necessity to keep the residents free from even the simplest infections. Cats, rabbits, and other small animals must be docile and accustomed to being held by strangers. Dogs, of all sizes, must be obedient and responsive to their handlers at all times. Training is key for both animal and handler alike. Presenting animals requires proper technique to prevent injuries to both the patient and the animal. Every visit should begin with an initial introduction by the healthcare professional. Before approaching, the handler must be in total control by having the dog heel on a short lead. The collar should be web or cloth. A metal collar can scrape sensitive hands, and a choke collar should not be used because it can pinch. Attire for the handler should include low, comfortable, and quiet shoes and colorful clothing.
How are you today?
Fine, thank you.
Would you like a visit from the dog today?
Yeah.
We came here to say hello to you.
When the handlers introduce themselves and their pets, they must make sure to inquire whether or not the resident or patient would like to visit. It should not be taken for granted that they do. Some facility admitting forms inquire about a patient's past association with pets, and this can be of help.
Come on, Bess.
Staying close to the dog, the handler must guide it into a good position beside the bed. If the patient is enjoying the visit, paws up on command, and with support from the handler, can bring the dog closer.
Good boy. Bess, look at Marie.
A successful pet visit will rely on not only a safe interaction with the animal, it will rely on the communication skills of the volunteer. Communication begins with eye contact. Eye contact suggests respect and willingness to listen and should continue throughout the visit. A large dog should not be allowed on a bed.
All the way up.
Use of a chair or stool is a good idea because it gives the dog secure support.
Come on. Sit. That's a good dog.
When approaching a person in a chair, the handler always guides the dog to the side of the chair where there is no danger of the person leaning over and falling out.
That's Pickwick. Oxdown, Pickwick.
Once in position, the handler should bend down or sit down so they are at the level of the
As in
seated
Pickwick.
person.
Well, when he was a puppy, he was
Leaning
always
over
eating
a
pickle.
person inhibits
Giving peach to
conversation.
visitors. So the next day they brought
Being
in
on the same
a male
level,
Cocker Spaniel.
speaking slowly and clearly, and listening carefully will result in a conversation that is interesting and of value.
Scrub of the head and chuck under the chin.
The dog should sit or stand still and patiently enjoy the petting and attention it will receive.
How old is he?
He's about 6 years old now.
Boy, good paws up. Isn't he nice? He's a Welsh Corgi. He had a bath today just to come to see you.
Oh, thank you.
You're quite welcome. Did you have a dog?
A medium-sized dog can be supported by the
Years
handler.
ago. What kind did you have?
How are you today?
A medium
That's
or
good. I'm
small-sized dog can also be presented to a person in bed or in a chair while being held by the handler.
Cozy for short. You wanna know why? Feel her. Feel how soft she is.
Small and toy-sized dogs can be presented in a basket or wrapped in a towel. This will give the animal the support and security they need. If a medium or small-sized dog is invited onto a bed, always use a lap blanket. And at all times, besides controlling their animal, the handler needs to encourage conversation. And the conversation need not be limited to animals. Family and home, careers, hobbies, historical events, old songs are all good
Her
topics.
mother, her grandmother. Yeah, she's got a nice soft coat, hasn't she?
Did you ever have a pet? She's really lovable.
If patients request that the dog be placed on their lap, a blanket is necessary for comfort and protection.
Hello, how are you today? I brought you a little butterfly.
When approaching a person in a wheelchair, the handler must first make certain that the wheels are locked. This ensures the patient's safety and protects the animal's toes from getting run over. As with any other chair, the approach is made to the side.
Her name is Bunny.
Nice long strokes
In
down the
addition
back.
to petting and
That's
stroking
good.
this
She
dog,
likes nice long
brushing
strokes down
is
the
a
back.
good
Takes
activity
that a lot.
enjoyed by both patient and animal. The handler must continue to stay close to the dog. Its mouth can be closed by stroking under the chin.
Okay, Jazzy, let's go.
When encountering a person using a walker, the handler must ask the person to sit in a chair before being approached by the animal.
There we go. This is Jazzy Belle.
Did you come to see me again?
Yes.
Cats also need to feel secure when they visit. A cushion, a lap blanket, or a basket should be used. A table can be used to show off a cat's frisky play.
Kitty, that's what you are, a pretty kitty.
Cats that have not been declawed must have their nails clipped.
She came from baby? Really? Oh. Now you got into that.
Gonna roll over for you.
When approaching a visually impaired person, handlers should identify themselves by name and tell the person about the animal visitor.
We
If they
come
want
see
to
you
pet
every
the
2
animal,
weeks.
the handler must guide the person's hand for safe interaction.
He's a Doberman Pinscher.
When visiting a person who is hearing impaired, handlers should gently touch the person on the arm or hand to announce their presence. Talking directly, using simple sentences while facing the person is the technique to use. Avoid yelling. Instead, speak in a deeper voice than usual. It will be heard more easily.
Hi, this is Whistle, our bumblebee. Say hello, Whistle.
In addition to the one-on-one visits, animal-assisted therapy can work well
Say
in a
hello,
group
Whistle.
setting.
Howdy.
Who is
buzz,
it?
buzz, buzz,
Say
buzz.
hello, Whistle.
Tricks, agility performances, obedience demonstrations, and many dog, cat, or rabbit shows are well received.
Oh, that was good. But, all right, yes. Does she deserve a treat?
Over to your lap. There is Minnie Pearl. Let's turn this down so she doesn't run away.
Unusual animal visitors will elicit very positive reactions.
Pearl. She's known as a Silky. Isn't she? Yes, she is.
This is Bambi, our swimmer. She's a rescue greyhound. She came from a track in New Hampshire.
Some dogs, like this greyhound, may enjoy their backs rubbed more than their heads. And knowing this, the handler will position the dog that
Don't you
way.
think that's the appropriate name for her, Bambi? Don't you think she looks like a deer?
Yeah.
Huh?
Safety for the animals includes watching them for signs of stress. Facilities are often warmer than most houses. The handler must make sure that the animal has plenty of water. Waxed floors
loves
are
the
slippery and can cause dogs to be uncomfortable after a period of time. Many professional dog show handlers use pulverized rosin on the dog's feet to give them better traction. An outdoor break is recommended during the visit. Once the demonstrations are over, it is an ideal time for the handler and the healthcare providers to encourage the residents and patients to reminisce about the animals in their lives and other memories. Reminiscing helps people feel better about themselves.
Yeah.
It's a crazy bird.
What do you mean it's a crazy bird?
Animal-assisted therapy is not solely comprised of once or twice a week visits such as these. The team of healthcare professionals and volunteers need to ensure that benefits of successful visits are continually reinforced. Facilities have set up aquariums, bird cages, and outdoor bird feeders, so residents and patients can enjoy observing nature close up. Animal-assisted therapy also uses related activities involving videos, reading, discussion groups, and creative arts, incorporated into the resident and patient's day. Each of these activities, combined with the physical contact with animals and the social interaction, contribute to the success of animal-assisted therapy. The healthcare professionals lead the therapy team and set goals for each resident and patient. Personal histories obtained on admission sometimes contain information including mention of pets the resident or patient may have had. This is helpful in choosing who will gain the most from this therapy, and is also helpful to the volunteer in developing conversation. Once the goals are established, they will be discussed with the volunteers, and guidance will be given for their implementation. Best results are obtained from regularly scheduled visits organized and planned by the team of healthcare professionals and the volunteers. The rewards from participating as a volunteer in animal-assisted therapy are many. Witnessing the joy on the faces of the residents and patients, knowing that you are making a difference in their lives, and being able to share the wonderful qualities, the love, and the companionship of your own best friend. For more information,